So this is a very special book. It was originally published in Japan in 2021, and this English translation was published in 2023. And it was published by Tuttle, who specialise in bringing books from the East to the West. Now it's a paperback with 128 pages. Now this book will show you how to create traditional botanical paintings in the style of the French court artists. There are 18 step-by-step lessons covering drawing with a graphite pencil, a gel pen, a ballpoint pen, and using watercolour paint and coloured pencil to finish your paintings. There's a lovely variety of subjects in this book as well. So we'll have a look inside, and we can see here the contents. So we have the prologue, the enjoyment of drawing plants. Part 1, getting ready to draw plants. Part 2, basic lessons in botanical art. And Part 3, practical lessons in botanical arts. Well, so we first of all have these lovely full page colour illustrations, which is a lovely way to start the book. And we move on to the prologue, the enjoyment of drawing plants, the attractions of botanical art, the history and characteristics of botanical arts, and the process of creating botanical arts. Then part 1, getting ready to draw plants. We have our materials, and then we move on to using a pencil for line drawings and sketches. Now I think the line drawings are superb in this book. I really like the way it shows you the detail of how to create the shape and the movement. Creating a 3D effect through shading, and again this shading of a hydrangea leaf is really quite beautiful. Now we move on to brush techniques. Now there are so many illustrations and photographs in this book, it is so easy to follow. So we've got the basic techniques for watercolour painting. So this would be totally suitable for someone who is very new to painting, or especially if you're very new to painting plants and flowers. We have layering to create unique colours. And we move on to part 2, basic lessons in botanical art. So we look at flowers first of all, and we then move on to leaves, lots of different leaves. And I love this, it shows you how to do a rubbing of a leaf to see all of the veins. Now we move on to creating a sketch, adding colour. You see there's just so many beautiful pictures here. You can't really go wrong if you follow the instructions. Drawing a cross section, again very detailed. And we move on to part 3, practical lessons in botanical art. So we start off with some flowers, and you can see how many steps we have here. Very, very detailed. And we move on to the colouring, and then we end up with the beautiful completed artwork. So we've got quite a few flowers, different types of flower for you. These lovely full page illustrations. The completed artwork is just absolutely stunning. It's very nice to have a book on traditional methods. And of course, you may have heard me say I do love hydrangeas. I've got quite a few of them. It's really lovely to see this. We've got holly here, we've got some fruit. A lovely red onion. And a succulent. And a walnut. And then we have a pine cone. And we're back to some flowers. Pansies now. And we have a collection of pansies for this one. So you have various different colours in this collection and a finished artwork. And then we move on to wildflowers, which is a nice little addition that we have wildflowers included. And then a little bit on framing your artwork. And then sadly we're at the end, and there is the author. So I really think this is quite special, this book. I very much enjoyed reading it. It is a very new book for me. I found it by accident on the Search Press website. Now you may have to search around a bit for this book, depending on where you live. But what I like about it is there are lots of photographs, lots of line drawings, lots of colour illustrations. The step-by-step lessons are very easy to follow, suitable for a complete beginner. And there's plenty of advice and tips for anyone who just wants to improve their artwork. And I just think what a brilliant little book. And it is very, very new for me. I've just literally only had this a few days, and I sat down straight away and read it, and I kept picking it up and going through, and I thought it's something I have to show you. It's very different to the contemporary type botanical art books that I've previously shown you. And I just think it's a wonderful addition to my library, and for anyone who is interested in creating realistic pencil and watercolour illustrations and they want to work in a more traditional style.